Steelers commanded some respect in D.C. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. Well, Pittsburgh Steelers went to the nation capital and came back with a W. It was a hard-fought game, I think the Steelers ended up beating the Commanders 28-27. Like I say, it was a really a tight game. I think we kind of seen some things, good and bad, out the Steelers. I kind of go to the defensive side first. I thought this actually, believe it or not, this might have been the defense worst game as a group. I didn't really think they had a real good game. Cameron Hayward was probably played his best game, but when you look at the stats, TJ Watt didn't have any stats, but he let his presence be felt. I felt like the refs were terrible in this game. It was a couple of holding calls, blatant holding calls that again they didn't call. The defensive backs, Joey Porter probably had his worst game. I thought McLaurin kind of really took it to him. And I don't know, it seemed like Porter got into his own head, and, started grabbing and clutching and getting ran by. So they didn't really play a good game. Jackson got hurt. So he didn't finish the game. They put Pierce out there, and he really didn't have a solid game. Mika missed a tackle that ended up turning into like a 60-yard passing play. Elliott was pretty solid. I thought the defensive line probably was the best out of the group. Even Preston Smith, he was able to get in there and actually made two big plays, tackles for losses. So that was a positive. Unfortunately, Highsmith ended up getting hurt, twisting his ankle, which it looked really worse than what it turned out to be. Because when I seen it out, man, I was like, man, he at the minimum he even broke his ankle, but it's just a sprain. So I think they said he might be out 2 to 3 weeks. On the linebacker, well, I will say this: I thought Patrick Queen maybe had his best game. So that's a positive, especially going into the Raven week. So it seemed like he's starting to really catch on to the defense now, feeling more comfortable. Being able to play with speed and get some tackles for loss. So that was a positive. But for a whole, the defense really didn't have a good game. Special teams, I thought this might have been their worst showing, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, they had the fake punt, which was right on. Pierre just got to catch the ball. So, he didn't catch the ball, so they turned the ball over deep into, their side of the field, and that gave DC, Washington, their first touchdown. The punter didn't really have a good game. I mean, he shanked a couple of kicks and had some short punts because he's been booming the ball. But I know for a fact I seen one punt was like 39 yards. So um, he wasn't nothing special. We actually had a chance to get some returns, and everybody was excited for Cordell Patterson, and he really didn't look special. I mean, to be honest, he looked washed. But I I don't know what was going on with that. And then on the flip side, Boswell wasn't really. It didn't seem like it was really windy. Like he couldn't get the ball in the end zone. Washington had a couple of run backs, and they had two of them. I know one was ran back almost to the 50, and the other one was well past the 30. So special teams was kind of shaky there. So on the offensive side of the ball, um, I mean, when you look at his numbers, Russell Wilson really didn't have a great game, but I just think all the intangibles he kind of showed. Like I say, changing plays, just having control of the offense. Um, so can't really shake him on that. He ended up throwing his first interception, but it turned out to be really more of a punt in which the way the punter was kicking, that probably was better for that to happen than for him to punt. Um, I thought the receivers were pretty solid. Um, uh, Pickens was out there doing his thing. He just got to put that ball away. He's getting a little loosey goosey with that ball again. Um, Mike Williams got in on a few plays, but ended up catching the game winning touchdown. So that trade right there already and you know made some dividends. Austin was pretty solid. He ended up getting hurt right at the end, and to be honest, I don't really know what was going on. That I think they pulled him out for checking for a concussion, but I didn't really see him really wobbly or anything. But they stopped the game to get him off, so we'll see what his deal is. Fire move caught a touchdown. I would like to see his targets get bumped up a little bit. Um, that's really about it. The running backs, I thought, Najee had a so-so game. I mean, the running was tough. I mean, Washington was stacking the line, sending guys. Um, Najee I think he had like 21 carries for 50 something yards. Um, but at least he ended up getting in the end zone. Warren actually running the ball had a solid game, but you know fumbled on the 1 yard line, and so that's about it. So actually, when you hear me say all this stuff, you'll be like, "And they won," and that's amazing. Yeah, they still won the game. Um, like I said, the defense really controlled Washington for the most part. Um, you know, Daniels only had 5 yards rushing, which is amazing. So the defense kind of came out with a plan, and they made sure that they kind of stuck with it. But like I say, in all, wasn't really the Steelers' best game. Probably the worst game they have played all season, to be honest. But hey, at the end of the day, they leave out of there with a victory, and that's what you want. So can't really complain about that too much. Moving on into play the Baltimore Ravens. This will be a fight for the division, fight for first place, and we'll get into that a little later in the week. But just wanted to get on here and kind of just rehash the game a little bit, and that is it. And I will talk to you later. All right, take care.